Unless you've been living under a rock, you've probably heard about Only Up, a game everyone's obsessed with right now, where you have to make your way, well, up. And I was about to buy it, but my wallet had a kind of different idea. So, what if we took a dive instead, and instead of buying it, I made it myself. But, instead of going up, you go down. How would it even work? Could it work? Well, get ready to find out. However, here's the catch. The trend is dying. Fast. So, I only have one day to bring the game to life before it's too late. That's right. The clock is ticking. Now, as with any game, I started off by grabbing a little boy. Apparently that's illegal though, and my lawyer highly suggested I didn't do that. So, after putting the kid back, I instead downloaded this 3D model. But little boys aren't little boys unless they're moving. Well, I mean, they can be. They'll just stay that way. Forever. Because that means they'll be dead, you know. But since dead children would horrify people, I instead added some animations and a simple movement system to the 3D model. So now we can do cool stuff like jumping and running and... well, that's it I guess. Or is it? Yeah, I know it is. So anyways, you know how when you're falling, you land, right? And you probably also know that if you land too hard, it hurts, right? Well, I added that to the game as well. I made it so that you have a certain amount of health, and falling over a certain amount will hurt you. But the longer you fall, the more it hurts, exponentially. And here's a twist. You know how in video games you normally have like a health bar to display your health? Well, going up, there's no UI, so I won't be making a health bar either. Deal with it. Instead, what I did was, when you reach a certain amount of health, your animations will change to reflect how hurt you are. And just like in real life, you will start limping and peeing yourself. What do you mean falling doesn't cause you to pee yourself? Wait, excuse me for a second. I need to speak to my mom. Mom, what the fuck? You said it was normal! Nobody likes looking at a bad game. So, I went to my sister's makeup drawer and got myself some makeup. Now that I'm beautiful, we can finally make the game look good by adding things like a skybox that will change every couple of minutes because I can't fucking decide which one looks best. And some post-processing. In the original game, you have to make your way up into space and go into a black hole. But I'm not really that much of a fan of getting spaghettified. That's the real thing. Look it up. Huh. I guess it is true. So, since we won't start from a black hole, I downloaded a satellite which we can use as a starting point instead. Now, I don't know about you, but I've never been to space, sadly. So I have no idea of what's up there, except for satellites and... No, I'm just kidding, I'm not gonna sing this part. The stars of all sizes, from red ones to blue ones, they sparkle a different hue. Living and dying, from big to small, just like us all. Supermassive black holes also exist, tearing galaxies apart with their massive density and gravity. Or holding it together like the ones in the center of our galaxy. So much stuff up there in the sky. I could go on and on for so long, and yet I would never get to your mom. I love you, your mom. But I didn't find any 3D models of that on the internet, so I went with a bunch of furniture instead. As you can probably see, there's a few inconsistencies in the style. And that is a common result of me being too lazy to keep scrolling on the internet for perfect models. Now, before we finish a spiral of random stuff downwards, we need somewhere to go to. Cause if there's nothing down there, then our birds real. I mean, right? So I made a city in Blender using geometry nodes and popped it down there. There's only one problem. It's ugly. I sound just like my mom right now. So I added some fog to cover it up. And a bit more. Just a bit more. Okay, a lot more. Perfect. In the original game, there's a train. And trains are cool. So I added those. That's literally all this clip is. Me adding trains. Okay, cool. Now since building a map is pretty boring, let's play a game instead, whilst the map finishes being built. Alright, just gonna put in my game show voice. Okay, so 1, 2, right, hello. So, today we're going to play the game of Guess the Origin of That Sound. I added sounds to the game, half of which I already had in my library, and half of which I had to record myself. So, let's start out with sound number 1. Is this A sound I found, or B, a sound I made by blowing the microphone? Sadly, I found this one in my SFX folder, so no blowing the microphone for me. Yo, what's up? Wait, means what? Fuck. Yo, so about that. Now, let's do a last one. Is this A sound I found, or B, my mouth? Exactly, it's secret option number C. I forgot to add it to the game. Yeah. Okay, so the game's been really popular with speedrunners, and their most valuable tools in a runs have been these beds, which when you jump on them, they bounce you up. But since we're going down, they would be useless, so why add it?
Cause fuck you, that's why.
Bouncing didn't want to work though, because the character collider and the bed didn't recognize each other. So I added an extra collider to the character just for this, until I found out that causes some kind of undesirable effects, like that. Fuck. So now you just fall through the bed. Yeah, good enough. With the map being done by now, we need a way to win. So, since Only Up had a black hole, I added something else that's black and a hole. Until my lawyer once again said he highly advised against it. So I made it so you have to enter the score instead. The only problem is you still die when jumping down there, which is too bad since you went all the way down it just to die. Cool, so anyways, I also added this main menu and the game is done. But don't take my word for it. I asked my friends what they thought of the game, and it's what they said. See? They loved it. Haha. And if you want to love it, there's a link in the description to download it. Be sure to play it. Oh, but also, do you want to see a game about balls? Click it.
Different hue, living and dying from big to small.